Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Man Man and ThatBuilderBoi Invitational Battlebot Tournament. This is a Battlebot tournament with an R.B.C.S rule set, and it was one hell of a time. It was the first tournament I ever got to compete in, and this first round is going to be from my perspective, with all the highlights from that round, and we'll show the highlights from all the rounds until we reach the finals, and then we'll play those matches in full. So fucking short.
So, how you feel about that fight? It was pretty even, man.
I honestly, like, that fight, he scared me at first, because whenever we talked about him and I've looked at his bot, and my main strategy was to try to target the wheels at first. And the way his armor set up is I couldn't reach his wheels, so I had to really adjust my strategy fight to fight there to try to counter him, because that drum spinner is very devastating. If I couldn't get my side arm in there to try to jam it, he was just going to tear my bot to pieces, which he did twice. So there was a lot of strategy adjustments happening mid-fight. And they are off. And let's see what the strategies are out of the bait. Are they just going to go weapon to weapon? They are going weapon to weapon. And Bug gets flown high in the air. But neither side taking too much damage. Both of them still relatively functional. I don't think they lost any wheels. Only a few detailed blocks here and there. And he's kind of getting back into the corner, getting close towards the edge of the rails. And Poseidon does some huge damage to his front weapon and took off some of his wheels from the looks of it. And Poseidon has Bug on the ropes. But with such a small bot like Bug, he doesn't have much armor, and you're seeing it here, and that's a knockout, and Poseidon wins. Round 1. And here is the opening charge, which is brought to you by the YouTube subscribe button. If you haven't pressed it, you should. And Bug taking some slight damage to one of his drills in the front. And that was some huge damage dealt by Poseidon. Poseidon's just playing with his food. He's squishing him like a bug. And he's on the attack here. He's on the prowl. It looks like Bug barely has any movement left. But he's going in for the kill anyways. The seat's out of the vehicle. And that's a knockout. And round 2 goes to Poseidon. He has a commanding 2-0 lead on this series so far. If he can get to his side, we can start off the next round.
Bug wants to forfeit.
Oh, Bug wants a forfeit?
Yeah, that's what he said. Wait, are you being like satire or like dead ass? You want to fight? Like,
Yeah.
You don't want to forfeit. I'm really damn.
Well, I think that settles it. Poseidon is moving on to round 2 of the M.B.I.T. We're following from Arctic's perspective here. As he comes in, he's trying to go for maybe a sideswipe technique, but they're still almost going weapon to weapon off the bat. I don't think either of these guys want to go weapon to weapon, but if they do, I think Split has the advantage as Arctic takes some knockback. He's a very fast bot, but he's going to take a lot of knockback because he doesn't have too much weight on him. And he goes weapon to weapon and does not get flung up in the air that time. That's surprising. Usually Split is a knockback specialist. And the self-rider here from Arctic going to be needed. And Split has him in a good spot here. Can start getting at the wheels, potentially. Starts driving away at that corner, and he takes one of the wheels off. So that's a big part of this tournament. You got to remember that. Mobility is everything in these battles. If you lose your mobility, you can be counted out and considered dead. So that was a big play. And Arctic is flipped up on his back. He's on the rails. And Split takes game 1. And they are off. And let's see if Arctic makes any strategy adjustments this time. No, they're going to go head-to-head, weapon to weapon. And that's more damage that he did than he did in the last round to Split. But can he still move? It looks like he's having some mobility issues. Might be stuck on a block. The blocks are starting to despawn. So now we'll see if his mobility has been screwed up. Nope, no, he can still move. That's one of his strengths, is his mobility. He's so strong and so agile. And you just can't afford to lose any of that. But he's having a hard time getting back to that front wedge of Split. He keeps bouncing off of that. Both of the weapons going head-to-head. And then he kind of tilts into the... He kind of tilts into the drum. And he gets flipped on his back here. He's in a vulnerable spot. And somehow that didn't do any damage. Split right there had a wide open shot at his backside. It looked like it hit him, but Plane Crazy physics not doing him a favor there. And now they do a little bit of a tango in the middle, a little bit of a do-si-do. They're going weapon to weapon. This is where big things can happen, but only a little bit of knockback taken. And Arctic so far is proven to be relatively durable. Like, that's the situation where I feel like if I get myself in that spot, it's going to take me a minute to self-right. And he immediately corrected and made the right decision. Arctic way up in the air. He flips on his back, but he's not on the rails, so he's fine. Huge moment there, and that will make it in the final montage, that's for sure. That's what we like here. We got high-flying, hard-hitting Battlebot action. Arctic gets flung! And he's out of the arena. Knockout! Split wins game 2. And they are off, and here's the opening charge. Will he go weapon to weapon? He tries to, but Arctic will evade. Something he needs to do better in these rounds is just stay away from that drum, but it's so massive, it is kind of hard. And also with such a good driver on the other side in Crimson, it's hard to avoid. And he lost some cutters there off of his front drum. Let's see if that makes a difference later in the fight. He gets knocked back again, flipped on his back, and he's going to have to go back, and again he goes weapon to weapon, and he knocks him out of the arena. Out of the rails. Arctic takes game 3, and he's not dead in these series just yet. And the Man countdown has concluded, and Split is just being a little bit more patient this time. I think he's just going to try to line up that kill shot against Arctic. Didn't even try to go weapon to weapon that time, because I think he's scared of the Plane Crazy physics. I mean, that's fair. And there was a single block out of the wedge of Split that got taken out there in that encounter. Huge damage. Huge damage. Easily top 10 biggest hits of the season. And there is a big hit there as he gets flipped on his back. And Split goes in, does some huge damage. He gets popped up in the air. And that's what we've been looking for. And a wheel is now missing. And I'm pretty sure that's a wheel off of Arctic. Only has 3 left. And now he's kind of on the ropes here. Gonna have to be a little careful. If he loses one more wheel, it could be over for him. And now they are here. They are locked head to head. If they make contact with each other, there's gonna be some high flying action. That drum just can't get past the front wedge, and they both get flipped on their back. And Arctic might not be able to self-right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and he's back up! Miraculously, he makes a comeback, and he's back into this fight. This fight's gone on for a long time. And now Split coming in to try to do more damage. They both get popped up in the air, and more blocks falling off of Arctic, just slowly chipping away at him so far in this match. That drum spinner of Split proving to be very devastating, and he rips off some more front armor, and one of those wheels is exposed. My mom just brought cinnamon rolls downstairs. Thank you very much. I love you, Mom. And now, yeah, shout out to my mom. But I'm pretty sure that drum spinner of Split still works, and it definitely can do knockback. And here he goes, a chance to end the match, but a quick decision there from Arctic. Gets the self right, back on his wheels. That could have been doom for him, because whenever he's on his back like that, the drum can definitely make contact with him. And, I mean, knockback's a huge part here. 10 seconds left. And, oh my god, huge part! He rips him apart! He still has some damage, and the drum is gone!
3, 2, 1.
Stop the fight, stop the fight! We're going to a judge's decision! Well, that was a very entertaining fight indeed, man. I think you'd have to say the same. There was a lot of action. And there was a lot of lull spots. There was a lot of spots where they weren't really doing much. But at the end there, with time was running out, Arctic made a huge play, got inside, ripped the drum spinner off of Split, one of the most intimidating drum spinners in the Battlebot scene. And now they go to a judge's decision. And Man, would you like to step into a separate VC with me? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a decision. After a very long and hard-fought battle, Arctic in the last few moments did some big damage, and that was the main determining factor for us. Arctic wins game number 4 of this series. We're tied up at 2 apiece, heading into game 5. As they're both just kind of shoving their main weapon into each other and hoping it somehow catches on them and does some damage.
Let me move out of the way so we can.
Yeah, go up a little bit higher, man. Like, we don't need to. Oh, he gets flipped up and he's going towards the rails. Can he self-right? Yes, he can. So versatile, so strong, but he's up on the rails again, and that's a knockout. And we'll head to game number 6 with Split having a chance to end the series. But there's going to be a lot of just these little bumping and grinding, chipping away slowly at blocks, hoping to get that one big hit. A lot of this is in, going down to Plane Crazy physics. There's really not much you can say about it. And there's some knockback, and it forces him towards the rails. Can Split attack? Oh, he gets caught on one of the bumps. There's a few small bumps here on the grass around here. It's not completely flat because Rick J doesn't know how to develop the game. And that might have saved Arctic there as he gets flipped up again, but he does some big damage to the drum, and you can see it starting to shed parts. And it looks like half of Split has been taken off. A lot of armor gone there. And now let's see if Arctic can finally get on the attack and do the things he's been trying to do all series long. His weapon has not been effective all series. He just won the one match because he got a lucky hit and he got a lucky bounce. But here he goes, finally doing some damage in this series. And honestly, that back right wheel for Split is also taking some damage too, so you gotta keep an eye on that. He loses one of those wheels and he's basically completely incapacitated.
5. Arctic, if I were you, I'd just move out.
Oh, he got flipped up on his back and he self-rights.
And that's it.
Alright, stop fighting. We go to a judge's decision. And man, I don't even think we need to go to separate VC. I think we're going to game 7, ladies and gentlemen. Arctic takes game 6 on the brink of elimination, pulls off an upset there, and we will head to game number 7 in round 1 of the M.B.I.T. And here they are. Any strategy changes? Oh, he almost goes weapon to weapon, and he gets up on his back. Arctic with an opportunity here early on. This fight could be over in the early seconds of the match. And he goes into the back here, pushing him onto the rails, but he's self-right. That was almost a huge, unexpected moment here early in the match, and he's chewing away at him. Arctic on the attack early on in Game 7, and he could be taking this one home and move on to the next round. But don't count out Split yet. That weapon is still very powerful, and if he makes contact, he could get one of those lucky bounces we saw earlier in this series. Wow, what an entertaining start to this round. That was something special. And we don't want our drones to have a big impact. And some big damage done, and I think that wheel is exposed now. I think both wheels are exposed on the front part. So now, oh, he's going underneath, and he's picking him up. And somehow that didn't do any damage. I don't understand how the bottom of that thing hasn't taken any damage. Split's taken a few shots at it throughout the series, and it just has not taken damage. It's well armored, well designed, I guess. But that's just not something I'm used to seeing. Usually when someone gets flipped upside down, they're supposed to die at that point. And he gets flipped in the air. I don't even know what happened there. He just did a full front flip, but no one even touched him. But he's been resilient all the rounds. I just think now that it's Game 7, we're really being skeptical of it because, you don't want someone cheating away out of the tournament. He's on his back, but he's just self-rights. He's so good at self-righting. I thought my bot was all right at it, but these guys in this tournament are such good drivers. They have so much experience, and they are putting it all on the line here in games number 7 of the first round. Win or go home. Also, by the way, the front wedge on Split has been removed again this match. Not at the beginning, but it has been slowly removed, so he has the configuration he wants, and half of his back gets ripped in half again! And that's a huge blow from R.B.C, and that's going to put the judges in his favor probably if it goes down to a judge's decision. But Split can still drive, it's just not driving as well as it was, because now the weight's been thrown off on the bot.
I'm kind of surprised. I think this didn't take much damage.
And R.B.C goes flying, and he's out of the arena! Split comes back! What a play! He was ripped in half! And R.B.C's out of the arena, and Split will move on to round 2! What a huge play in the dying seconds of Game 7! R.B.C had him on the ropes, and that's going to do it here in Game 7 of Round 1. So, for one, I'd like to point out at the beginning, you're one of the hosts of this tournament. We really appreciate you putting on this tournament for us. You and Man Man organizing the Discord and everything to get together, get all these bots together to have such a good time. But you got out in Round 1. Did you have any expectations to go past Round 1? Did you think you had any chance to win the championship?
Well, okay, I entered R.B.C as cannon fodder, basically. I just entered it for a laugh. I just, didn't think I was going to do well. But, like, the fact that I managed to string in 3 wins together, yeah. I mean, I thought I was going to win. I was so pissed. Like, I shouldn't have gone weapon to weapon because I know Split's weapon is powerful. And that's what lost me one of the matches earlier. So, oh, God.
So this is just a little disclaimer going into this next match between Rook and Bumpkin. So after R.B.C got out, he wanted the help with the announcing. He had never announced before, so a few times he's tried to talk over me, and I kind of talked over him since we'd never worked as a crew together. But hopefully you guys can understand that. And let's get on with the next match. And here goes the mini-bot. Oh, the mini-bot's going to do insane damage. And Rook's just going to drive right past it. And he's going in after Bumpkin. And he's going in after Bumpkin. They're trying to go weapon to weapon. And Bumpkin, I'm not even sure who's doing the most damage right now, but I know if Rook gets a hold of him.
Bumpkin. That's off of Bumpkin. That's one of their self-riding rings.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a good point. His self-riding ring is gone. But don't worry. He's a good self-rider because he can use those saws as self-riders. And he has both the things on the side.
Very well-designed bot.
Oh, he goes in again. Huge damage being done. His other self-rider's gone. There goes one of his saws. Oh, my God. He has no cutters left. And this could be over. Well, actually, no, he does. He has the little drills on him. So he could still do some chip damage to the front. But Rook just trying to go in and pounding on him. And that's surprisingly, that didn't do any damage there on that attack. And I don't know if Rook has any cutters left on his weapon. It usually is, in my experience with it. It just doesn't do much. And honestly, there goes one of the wheels from Rook. Rook is losing wheels. I don't want to sit over there. Yeah, I don't like this idea. Any type of knockback whatsoever. And he could be out of the arena, but I think that also could play to Rook's strategy too, as he doesn't really have any cutters left. He's losing wheels, though. And I think he might be high-centered. I don't think he can move. I think he's going to have to crab walk. I think he can only crab walk now, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to call him out for that. All I know is that Man Man is in trouble because Bumpkin's going back in again. And I don't know if that hammer is still able to do anything. He's going underneath trying to take out that last wheel. If Bumpkin can take out that last wheel... Oh, stop fighting, stop fighting, stop fighting, stop fighting, stop fighting. The timer is up. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. Winner of Game 1 of Round 1 is none other than Mr. Bumpkin. And here we are. The M.B.I.T is sponsored by the YouTube subscribe button. Every opening charge is sponsored by, and the mini-bot is going in here on Rook, but Rook gets away from it. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but neither is Rook. It can almost keep pace with it. And now Rook going in and trying to do damage off the bat. And here he goes. And he lost one of his hammer saws. So now Rook has the big advantage right off the bat, and he has the damage advantage off the bat. And also, he has the momentum going in. But now that saw is starting to get to work, but he can go over the top and try to take rid of that saw.
Inside. It's getting inside of Rook right now.
Yeah, Rook does not have the most external armor. It does have like castle walls and stuff like that, but that's just kind of there for show. The armor on it's pretty weak. Oh, he goes in for and does more big damage. He loses his hammer saw, and he's down to his drills. But he was down to his drills in the first battle, and he was able to come back and win. And now Rook's stuck on his side. Can he use his little rooks to self-right himself? Yes, he can. Oh, he's going over the top. And if he can just hit his character's literally right there. We can see a Quacknay's character is visible to us, and those hammers could take him out. They could kill him very easily. All you can do is make small contact with them.
40 seconds left.
And there it is. There's the knockout. And we are tied at 1 apiece here in the series. Here goes that mini-bot again. The mini-bot trying to corner him. And he almost gets him. Oh, and a huge hit! He loses half of his bot. Rook lands a massive blow to start the round. That could be the determining factor in this one. But, I mean, there's still one hammer saw left. I can't count Bumpkin out, but that was massive damage. That's what we like to see in these Battlebot competition. We like to see bots just get absolutely blown to bits, because that goes in the highlight reel at the end. He's just going ham on him right now, and this could be an early knockout. If he still has some cutters left, he's ripped him all the way down to the base. The only thing left is his character, and there's the knockout. There's the knockout. He goes up 2-1 in the series. A extremely dominant performance from Rook, and he shows us the raw power that his Battlebot has. And if you want more information on these Battlebot tournaments and how to join, be sure to join the ZuggyJ Discord, which will be linked in the description of all videos that are made out of this. Also, because if you join that Discord, you can get links to other Discords for Battlebot competitions. That's where a lot of them are organized. And here we go, Bumpkin going in weapon to weapon, and that's not a good decision. He loses one of his hammer saws, and he's on the ropes to start. Oh, but I think Rook might have lost a wheel. I think they both have lost some wheels. I think they're both very challenged. Oh, but Bumpkin can still drive left and right. He only has one wheel left on the one side. But I think Rook is really on the ropes here. Actually, I think he can still... He needs to prove to me that he can turn to the right. I don't know if he can turn to the right at all. He can if he goes in reverse, but... That's not enough to knock him out, though. He still has some controlled movement. He can kind of control himself. And it's going to be up to Bumpkin here. Bumpkin can set the pace for the rest of this fight now. But you guys are going to weapon again, and he loses. No, his hammer saw's still there. I thought he lost it. I saw a big explosion, but it was mainly Rook losing parts.
Rook lost the door.
Oh, shit. And that hammer saw just can't reach. You saw those self-riders there. Those self-riders helped him like a lot because they blocked the hammer. If Bumpkin somehow loses this fight, it's a huge upset because Bumpkin has every advantage right now. He has mobility. His weapon's still completely intact on the one side.
I mean, we did sort of see something like that with Arctic in the...
We did see that with Arctic. They're
gone. Bumpkin pretty much has a free shot at that.
Oh, he got the wheel, and that's a knockout. And Bumpkin takes game 4. We're tied at 2 apiece here in the series. Minibot might actually make contact this time. Oh, and he kills the Minibot. Oh, the humanity.
Oh, stop Minibot abuse.
I gotta stop Minibot abuse. This is a serious topic. M.B.I.T will actually be donating $50,000 to Minibot abuse foundations after this tournament's over. But the front hammer saw is gone. Rook just took off a main part of Bumpkin. And I need to stop joking around. Let's actually focus on the Battlebot action here, because this could be a very good series. This could go to 7. And he clips him on the back and takes a little bit more off that armor. But he's getting outmaneuvered right now and getting outdriven, but he loses the other hammer saw, and now he's down to his little drills.
Still got the drills.
Yep.
Drills have been proving very effective. They've been like getting low blows and like chopping off at the base of Rook. But,
this fight has been very laggy for me so far. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of lag going on here at the rails.
Everywhere. It's just making this a lag.
Oh, and there's the knockout punch!
Yep, Rook has won again.
Then they're off, and the Minibot trying to get himself involved for the... Like, he's been trying every round, and he does get involved. And he just squirts out the back. He squirted out the back. Is in trouble there. Bumpkin's doing some hit-and-run tactics. And... Oh, shit. Yeah, we're seeing wheels flying off both these guys. Sit's going down. This gets getting real. And Bumpkin just lost, like, half of its bot.
Yep, that's Bumpkin. They only have, like, what? 1 wheel remaining? 2 wheels? I can't see.
Yeah, he's not driving correctly anymore. I think he's in trouble. And Rook has the mobility advantage. You know something's wrong with your bot. You know something's wrong with your bot when Rook has the mobility advantage over here. Because Rook is not a very mobile bot. But right now, he can control this fight for the rest of the way.
Big boy.
And he's a chonker, that's for sure. He's like over 700 blocks. One of the biggest battle bots in this tournament. They just got to keep those wheels protected. That one drill could be the difference. And he gets torn up again. And that should be it. Bumpkin's on the rope. He could be eliminated in round 1. In back-to-back tournaments I've hosted, this would be such an upset. All Rook has to do is just like hit him at all. If he touches him, it's basically over.
I think that's it.
Oh, he somehow survived. He's just prolonging the inevitable. This is the Bumpkin way. And there's the knockout. Bumpkin's out in round 1. Back-to-back tournaments that I've hosted. He has been eliminated in round 1. And a former championship contender goes out in round 1. And Rook, well, he's a beast. And he's coming for this tournament. He could win the whole thing. He's looking good so far.
Honestly, like I saw before the fight, I saw some live streams of Rook, and I noticed that he's very maneuverable. So that would be like a disadvantage for me because I drift a lot. I'm very fucking happy. I'm a fat ass, but also at the same time, I do a lot of damage. So I was kind of confident.
Remember, guys, since I'm in this round, there is no commentary, just music and action. Dude, honestly, like, I knew going into that match there was, like, barely any chance I was gonna win. So all I was trying to do is, like, throw my weapons at him in a way that could try to get a Plane Crazy moment to happen. And I got 2 Plane Crazy moments, so that's good. Just trying to get him to glitch out and flip out, because I knew that if I fought him fair and didn't fight dirty, there was no chance for me to win. So I played my cards to the best of my ability, I think, but I just need to come back with a better bot next time. This should be a good series. I'm really excited to see these 2 absolute chonkers go at it in the ring. And I'm really interested to see how that hammer drill does against that full drum there. I mean, that's a huge drum. It takes up almost the entire bot. And it looks like Rook didn't... Well, this was awkward. Yeah, my computer I was recording on ran out of storage, so you don't get to see the end of this game. But to sum it up for you, split one on a really fluky hit, and let's head to game 2. And they are off. And let's see what Rook does differently this time. I don't think he played that last round that badly. I just think he got unlucky there at the end. But there's a lot of luck involved in a lot of these times, you know, how the blocks interact. And he gets thrown in the air, and the helicopter flies right underneath him. That was pretty cool.
I think what they need to do is just stay in the center of the arena. They don't want to risk being close to the edges. Because, for example, if a hit like that were to happen close to the rails, he would have been sent out and onto the rails. So.
Look how little there is left of that drum spinner, and you're exactly right. I mean, positioning is so huge. I don't think there's any cutters left right there, or else he would be doing some massive damage. But he has him high and centered, but that's not where you want to be when the other guy has a hammer, and that hammer is getting to work. and it's tearing apart Split block by block. And right now, I could honestly see that Rook, if he keeps playing like this the rest of the series, as long as he wins this game, I think he has a good chance to win this whole thing. Yep, he has gone lawnmower mode, and it is seeming to be very effective. I don't think he can move anymore, and that's a knockout. He wins game 2. Rook doing the same thing he did against me in a lot of those practice fights, just going off to the side, going to pick and choose his opportunities here. He's a smart man. He has a lot of strategy built into that bot. But they're still going to go weapon to weapon, and he's flung way up in the air, and he is out of the arena. Same exact strategy right off the bat. Split just going to try to pick and choose here. You can't get hit by those hammers early on. They devastate your bot. And he's going straight in, and huge damage done to both of the bots, but Split lost everything. And I think that's a knockout blow.
It's 3-1 for Rook. What a good comeback.
Yeah, look at this. I think this is just a shell. Every important block got blown off of it. And I'm following Rook. Following him pretty close here. And they're doing the same thing they've done in almost all the things. They both just, one goes off to the left, one goes off to the right, and then they do a little do-si-do in the middle. And now they're going weapon to weapon again, and this could be bad. And Rook's out of the arena. Rook is out of the arena, and Split can still drive. He stays alive, and we will see game 6. That was very fluky and very weird, but that's what that drum spinner is supposed to do. It's supposed to grab a hold of your bot and do knockback damage, and that's what it did exactly that time. They were doing some tanding drifting here, and that's exactly what Split wants. He tries to go into the side. He gets flipped over on his side, and now the hammers can go in and do damage. The hammers go in to take out a big part of the drum, and Split is in trouble here. And now Rook, he's going to keep going in. There's no point in stopping now. He has him on the ropes. He's going lawnmower mode. He's going in after those wheels is what it looks like. He's going for the wheels in the back. He chips off one of the wheels. It's all over here for Split. He's on the ropes. His tournament hopes may be dying in front of our eyes right now. And it looks like Rook is just going to keep going in. But this is the thing. They are close to the rails. They are close to the rails. You remember, Arctic, what happened to your bot. If they can just... Because the match is not over yet. Rook is celebrating, but it's not over. That drum spinner is still spinning.
They're still moving. And I think the weapon might just be a non-factor here for Split. As long as Rook doesn't do anything stupid.
He's doing something stupid! He's doing something stupid! They won, for sure. But that was close. If he didn't kill him there, Rook would have been out. That was so close. But Rook is moving on to the finals.
Through the match. Oh my god.
Yeah, I would not have pushed that at all. I would have made him get off those rails. That was very close to being the end of Rook there. But he moves on to the grand finals, and we'll be right back with some interviews. And they are off. Here's the opening charge between the two of them. Will they just go weapon to weapon? Poseidon wants to go weapon to weapon because he can do so much knockback and just basic damage if he just makes contact, but he gets flipped over, rewrites himself, and both sides filling each other out. As you'd expect in a game 1, they don't want to go too hard, don't want to throw away games. Rook just kind of circling, Poseidon realizing that it has a big advantage, and it delivers the first blow of the match by taking a few blocks here off of Rook. I don't know how Rook's going to go in. I don't think it wants to go up in a weapon, but I think it's only hope here. And it tries to, and it takes a few blocks off, but I think it takes the worst of that impact there.
It lost the wheel.
Oh, there it goes! And the knockout! Rook loses its hammer drill, but it knocks Poseidon out of the arena. And that's a Plane Crazy moment if I've ever seen one. Rook takes game 1 of the grand finals. And they are off. And he's going towards the rails. I don't know if he wants that. If Poseidon could have landed a hit there, he could have easily flipped him out of the arena. The driving ability here between the two of them, so far I'd have to say is going to Poseidon. He's just been the better driver, and so far he's taking it to Man Man, but there's a hammer shot landed, and you can see chunks are now missing out of that drum spinner. Meanwhile, Man Man's weapon is basically intact.
Oh, Poseidon flipped over.
Oh, he's getting the wheels! The wheels are gone! This match could be over!
Wait, can Rook self-right?
He can self-right here. I'm pretty sure he can self-right, but I don't think he can drive even when he does self-right.
Is that it?
He might have to use his hammer to get himself back up, but I don't know. Let's see.
I think that's gonna be it.
And that's a knockout. Poseidon wins game 2. No wheels left, can't move. Poseidon there. What the actual fuck, dude? That thing is so strong. And they're off. And will Man Man go weapon to weapon, or is he going to try to do an evasive maneuver? He does. And he's gone to the same side. He's favored that side the last 2 battles, so we'll see if that becomes a trend in the opening charge in the next few.
Missed hammer shot. Oh,
he's flipped over. And Poseidon rips off one of the Rooks on the front. And he's trying to self-right, and he can't. And Poseidon's getting underneath. He's doing all the wheel damage. The wheels are getting ripped out. Can he still even move? I'm not sure. He's still trying to self-right. He is self-righted, and he can move. He can move. That's good. That's good. The fight will continue. Poseidon gets flipped up in the air, but Rook flipped on his back. Rook has to self-right, and now he's on the edge by the rails. This is not the spot he wants to be, but he can't control. He only has one wheel left, so he can only crab walk. Right? Poseidon going in for one more blow. And yeah, I think this match has to be over. Yep, there it is. He's on the rails. And Poseidon takes a 2-1 lead. He's won the last two, and he has all the momentum in this round. Anyways, here we are. Game 4. All-important game, because if Poseidon wins this one, he could put Rook on the brink. But if Rook wins, it's a brand new series. We're back tied 2-2. So, without further ado, both sides are ready. We can get this underway. 3, 2, 1, begin!
Let the fight commence. Here we go.
And they're going to go weapon to weapon. Oh, he just dodges at the last second. And they go weapon to weapon again. And they both get flung in the air. Man Man's weapon still firing. Same with Poseidon. Rook and Poseidon just, they have so much power. But it looks like Poseidon just has the more powerful weapon, at least with knockback. And now he gets in behind. And he's chewing through the side of him. And he got to some of the wheels. And I think that's 2 wheels gone. We'll see how Rook can control. Wow. Poseidon is so deadly. Oh, and a huge hit! And it's a knockout blow! He hit the character! What a play from Rook! He makes the comeback in this round! And he somehow delivers one of the biggest shots of the tournament so far! He glitched through the armor and hit the character and killed him. And now Poseidon, I mean, he lost all of his momentum. He was doing so well. And now it's a 2-2 series. Rook is back in it, baby. And let's see which side Man Man goes this time. You know he's not going to try to go weapon to weapon. And that was an interesting yeah, that's something different. We haven't seen that one before. And Poseidon takes a big hit and flies up into the air. And now he has him on his backside. He rips out some of the wheels. And that will be a mobility killer. I'm not sure if he can do anything other than crab walk now. He might just be a crab walker. But that weapon is still spinning and dangerous. So Man Man has to honor that. It's not over until it's over.
Man Man needs to try and get to the center of the arena. They don't want to be close to the rails.
Yep.
That weapon still as deadly as ever.
And he just did a bunch of damage to it. He ripped off about half of it, but he lost one of his rooks, so one of his self-riders is gone. I think both the self-riders on that side of the bot have been ripped off. So if he gets flipped over, which Poseidon is still very capable of doing, he will be in a lot of trouble because his self-riders are gone. Also, I think he lost one side of his hammer saws.
Oh, that's one half of the weapon supports.
Yeah, one of his hammer drills is now gone, so it's going to be an interesting finish here. Both of them are kind of crippled. I mean, Poseidon's definitely movement crippled, but he's still driving very well and keeping that weapon facing towards Rook at all times. If he lets Rook get to the back of him, it's probably over. And he goes in for another shot. He's flipped over, and he has to be careful here. He might go onto the rails if he tries to self-right. He's on his side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's a knockout, and Poseidon is taking Rook to the brink. But we both talked about it throughout that match. Rook, he needed to be careful because Poseidon's weapon was still almost completely functional, even though it was damaged. We both were like, well, you got to play careful with them, and Rook just decided to go all in, took an all-in shot, and it backfired on him massively. And now he has a chance to be eliminated here, and the tournament can be won in this next game. What's crazy to me is how both these matches worked, the last two of them. How Poseidon had Rook on the ropes, and at the last second, Rook delivered a massive blow and won. And the same thing happened last round, where Poseidon was on the ropes, Rook was controlling the fight, and then Poseidon wins the last second. So far, the last two games, it hasn't been who's drove the best. It's who makes the last mistake. And we'll see what happens here. Game 6, tournament on the line, Rook facing elimination. Count us down.
3, 2, 1, begin.
And here we go. And Rook looks like he's trying to favor that rail side. Poseidon blocks it off, and now he has to head back towards the audience. And now they're going to meet weapon to weapon! And he gets flipped in the air, and he lost both of his doors. And that's some armor gone. He's going in for a drill, and he did some big damage there to the drum. And I think most of his hammer drill is still intact. He's flipped on his side, his self-riders. And now there's a lot of blocks all over the place. So that might cause some debris and might cause some mobility issues. And I think Poseidon lost a wheel. Poseidon did lose his back wheel.
Rook's running away, trying to regain their composure here. Trying to get out of that dangerous area.
He flips him in the air! And he has him on the ropes. Can he attack him? No, he's back on his wheels. He's going in again! And he gets half of his bot sawed off. And Rook lost his weapons. It's a matter of can he self-right, and now Poseidon has him on the ropes. Can he knock him out of the arena? No, Rook gets back to the center, but he has no cutters left. He's going to have to pull a miracle here, but Poseidon, you know, he does have that drum spinner, and it could knock him back as well. So Rook has to play his cards right here. I think Rook's trying to bait him towards the rails.
I think Rook made a tactical error there, trying to fire their weapon right into Poseidon's drum when it was still active and dead.
Yeah, that was back-to-back matches where he just made a big misplay. He went for it all. He went for that big play, which is the sexy play, but it wasn't the right decision at the time. And I think right now he's just trying to extend the fight and trying to delay. And now Poseidon finally getting a little bit of chip damage on him, takes off one of his self-riders in the back. This might be over. Poseidon may have won this tournament. Wait, the drum spinners are right there. They could do some damage. I don't know how much Man Man can control where those go, but if those can make contact with them, they might be able to chip away. Can he hide behind him? I think he's hiding behind him. He's trying to push him.
You could push it. Yeah, you're going to use it as a battering ram, probably.
And the thing is, how much time was left on the clock? Because this could be a clock violation. Oh, it's out of the arena, and that might have been his last-ditch effort as his hammer drills get sent out of the arena, and Poseidon has him where he wants him.
30 seconds left in this match. I mean, Rook can try and hang on and squeak out the judge's decision win, but he's got to be aggressive here.
Yeah, he has to show some aggressive points. And he has to somehow create damage. I don't know if there's any cutters laying anywhere. Like, are there...
Try and control this match.
I don't see any cutters laying on the ground. He can't really use any of the arena left to his advantage. And for Poseidon, I mean, all he has to do is just kind of wait out to the bell. I don't see any way Rook wins this one.
I mean, who knows? Anything could happen.
It is Plane Crazy, but...
And that's the match. Everyone
Wait,
moving.
What happened at the end there?
Wait.
Something happened. He drove over a cutter and it, like, removed part of his wheel. Wait.
That will count towards the decision.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was quite the game. Game 6 was a very insane one, and it came down right to the end there. And that damage at the end may have played a role in it, rolling over one of those cutters there for Poseidon. But the referees have handed me the final card. And as you can see on your screen right now, we have points given out for aggression, mobility, and weapon health. And that's how we've been grading all tournament long. And in the aggression category, it looks like it's going to be scored as 2 apiece, as Poseidon kept trying to chase down Rook, at least that's how I view it. And Rook, well, he did everything he could in the early match to match the aggression of Poseidon. As for mobility, they could both completely move. They had all their wheels. Yes, some of them were chopped off, but they had full range of motion. Both of them, 2 apiece. And for weapon health, this is the big one. Poseidon gets 3 as his drum spinner is completely intact, and Rook gets a 0. Look at the total scores, and Poseidon is the first M.B.I.T tournament champion. Let's head over to the podium for his interview. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlebots and Battle Bitches, thank you for coming out to this tournament today. It was an incredible experience, and I'm just happy I got the chance to announce it and be a part of it with you guys. It's my first ever tournament, and I'm so glad that we got to do this today because it was a hell of a time. We learned a lot about our own BattleBots. We learned a lot about ourselves, and we made a lot of friends along the way. I'm just bullshitting. I don't really care. It was a fun tournament, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. We all just got together in a server, put together a bracket, and had a hell of a time with it. And at the end of the day, this man over here, Average, he came out of it on top. He won the entire thing. And while he may not be winning this trophy, you'll have a chance to win it next season whenever R.B.C.S Season 4 comes around. Hopefully we'll get that done by the end of the summer, or at least before my next school year. But if he has any words, he can come to the stage right now and deliver them into the microphone.
Alright. I could have not done this without y'all. I underwent a long way to get to this point. And if it wasn't for y'all, I probably would not be standing here. I have gotten some great advice from y'all, and yeah, I'm really glad to be here. And all of you, I think all of you did a great job. Can you? Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I did not expect to win this tournament, really.
Well, all I gotta say is maybe one day, if you enter that bot in R.B.C.S, you might find yourself on this trophy right here, next to the immortal names of Boxbot, Hurricane, and Apex. But yeah, thank you everyone who came out, and hopefully this doesn't turn out like shit in editing. Bye!